Winning Cures Everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
What up, what up, what up? It's Winning Cures Everything. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
This is Friday, July the 12th. We are coming to you before I go on vacation. I am gone all next week. That does not mean that there's not going to be shows. We are knocking out the Mountain West Conference, the Independents, so Notre Dame, Army, BYU, that bunch, and we're knocking out the AAC. So we got shows every day next week, but no worries. I'll be back the week after that. We'll be ready to rock and roll. This is Winning Cures Everything. We do it 10 to 15 minutes. Today, probably 30 minutes or longer. Give you a rundown of today's shows. Westbrook traded from OKC for Chris Paul. So we're going to explain all of that, all what everything means with that. Titans coach Mike Vrabel said that he would cut off his member to win a Super Bowl. We'll talk about that. Grayson Allen ejected from the NBA Summer League game last night. The NFL has proposed an 18-game season to the NFLPA. We'll talk about the numbers and what that means. And 2 people were arrested in Oklahoma, and they had some crazy stuff in their cars. So Chris and I will discuss that at the end of the show. You can follow me on Twitter at GaryWCE. You can follow Chris at ChrisB. You can follow the show at Winning Cures. You can also get everything else over at winningcureseverything.com. YouTube, the podcast, etc. Go to Apple Podcast, leave a nice review, leave a 5-star review. We will appreciate that for sure. We appreciate you guys jumping in. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, man.
Everything's okay? You're not too busy?
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Thank goodness. That's I got to get packed because I'm leaving at like noon tomorrow. Like I'm ready to rock and roll. So,
there you go.
Lots to. This has been a pretty busy week. I thought this was supposed to be like the dead week of the summer.
No. People always say that. Listen, the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game in baseball is the best All-Star event of the year. There's not another one that's anywhere close to that event.
Agreed.
I don't know why that seemed as dead. I would rather cover that than regular season baseball games.
Well, it's because we don't discuss a lot of baseball. There's just not a lot to discuss.
You can ignore baseball all year long. You got to watch the Home Run Derby, man.
I did watch the Derby.
Once they put in the new clock, that game has changed completely. That is some of the most captivative television I've ever seen. And my guy, Vlad Jr., put on a show. It was incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah. So before we get into our main topics, what did you think about Justin Verlander's comments?
I get he's frustrated and he's been pitching long enough to have seen multiple different eras of where these home runs are going and what's happening. But I've heard enough media guys, Buster Olney, I think, and Tim Kirchin have talked about this. I've listened to on ESPN and them on various shows. Rob Manfred says the quickest way for me to get fired from an extremely high-paying, powerful job is to mess with the baseballs.
Yeah.
And he said there's just every year they do change, but not because of any specs or anything like that. It's just I'm in the flooring business and I deal with hardwood, and there are lot numbers on every batch that's made because every batch is a little bit different. It's impossible to make something the same every time over and over again, even with machines making them. And the baseballs are no different. That he's just like, some years the batches are just hot and some years they're not. But this all comes down to coaching, the launch angle, and the way guys play the game. They're willing to strike out 3 times for every 4 at-bats if that 1 at-bat's a home run. It's just we've never seen baseball played this way. And if I was a pitcher, I'd hate it too. But there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Yeah. No, you've got a point. You have got a point. So I think I agree. Like I thought there had to be something going on because
the balls are hotter, but I don't think Manfred mandated that. I just think that's how the lot number came out.
Yeah. I think you're probably right.
So
let's see.
My opinion.
No, I can understand it. So I'm double checking, making sure we got audio. So we're good to go.
Good job on that.
Yeah, that's I didn't even think about it before because we're using Zoom today. It's a little different than my normal setup, but we are rocking and rolling. let's talk about the big news. So topic number 1, Russell Westbrook to Houston, Chris Paul to OKC, along with, a couple of first-round picks?
3 first-round picks.
Was it 3 first-round picks?
I think it's 3 firsts.
I mean, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
I know it's at least 2, and maybe a pick swap would be considered 1.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's 2 and then a pick swap. So look, both of them are considered bad contracts.
Well, CP3 is second worst contract, I think, in the league.
Who would be the first?
John Wall, and it's not close.
Yeah.
John Wall still has like $180 million left on him.
Yep, and he's already been hurt, and the team is already falling apart.
Oh no, he gone. No, that is dead money right there.
Yeah, you are.
That's not close.
You were right about that. So everybody seems to be bashing this idea, right? It's all the talk is Harden and Westbrook. You're going to need 2 basketballs to allow them to play. It's a disaster. They're not going to. Both of them are ball dominant, et cetera, et cetera. I'm looking at it a little bit differently, and I'll see if you agree with me.
Okay.
I think that the way that they play with Mike D'Antoni, they are up and down the floor. And I know this type of style really personally because the Memphis Tigers do it, right? You can say that somebody is the point guard. You can say that somebody is ball dominant. But the pace that they play, it is basically whoever gets the ball, sick them, right?
Yeah, go to the hole.
So you're moving fast. You've got a guy that James Harden gets along with. Like Chris Paul did not get along with James Harden. He wanted to play a different style of basketball. Russell Westbrook likes this style, and their chemistry is really – you've seen it, and I know it's ridiculous, but All-Star games, you can see it with those two where they can find each other. They pass extremely well between each other. If they are, specifying ISO ball, I think this has a really good chance of actually working.
It could, and I'm not saying it couldn't because the pace is going to be exactly what D'Antonio wants. The difference is every person on the known planet that's ever played with Westbrook for any period of time hates that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just hates playing with him. I don't know what he's like off the field, off the court. I can't speak to that, but I just think at some point in time, Harden's going to feel the exact same way.
He might.
God, I can't handle this guy. So, and we don't know. I think it's going to be fun. I am more excited, and I made this clear. I might have said it on the show. I don't know how many times we've done a show that I've been on since all this movement has gone down. Maybe none. But I'm more excited about this NBA season than I have been in years.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
The numbers say that when they have a dominant team like the Warriors or back in the Bulls, the ratings are actually higher than when there's a lot of parity. I disagree with that. I don't like that style of basketball. I love that there are 2 stars on 12 different teams instead of 4 stars on one team and no stars on 80% of the league.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to vote with my dollars and with my viewing, and I'm going to reward the NBA for I don't know if this is anything anybody's actually done, but just this is what I like to see. I'm really excited about this NBA season. I'm probably going to get the league pass this year, and I'm going to be watching a lot of basketball. The young teams that I don't know that will win a lot of games, like our Grizzlies, like the Pelicans, are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
The Suns, I think they're going to be fun to watch. I don't know how many games we're going to win, but I think they're going to be fun.
I think they're at least going to be competitive, right?
Yeah. And then you've got these other teams.
You got the Clippers with 2 stars. You got the Lakers with 2 stars. You got Toronto, of course, coming back without Kawhi, but still, Marc Gasol, Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. Toronto's still got guys. The Warriors still have Draymond. Now they got D'Angelo Russell, but they got Steph. Klay Thompson will be back in, March.
Yeah. You've got a ton of teams.
You got the Nets. They won't get KD back this year, but the Nets were pretty good last year. You got the Bucks coming back doing their thing. You didn't
name the Rockets. You didn't name the 76ers.
Exactly.
And the Celtics have this exact Celtics team almost was like take Hayward off of this team and put, I think, Brown back on it, this team was one game away from going to a finals.
Yeah.
All right. They could make a move. They could make a piece somewhere in the middle. No, they lost Horford. That's right.
They lost Horford.
But they're a piece away from being the third best team in the East.
Yeah, the Celtics, I think, are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be fine.
Magic were good. They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take the next step. They've got some athletic dudes. And the Heat, same thing.
The Heat got Jimmy Butler.
And everyone thinks they're going to try to make a move. I think they're going to try to get Paul.
I think
they're
so
going to try
too.
to get Chris Paul.
I mean, it's going to be tough to do.
No, I don't think so. I think Presti is in just sell mode right now, baby.
Well, yeah, but you still got to make the contracts match.
Oh no, because they were the number one guy to try to get Westbrook.
It's because they're the only ones that have enough cap room to be able to do it.
They don't care about the cap. They'll just pay it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That has kind of been the way they have operated for a while. So, but yeah, as
far as the parity goes,
Westbrook, they've got the pieces to get Paul.
Yeah, as far as the parity goes, this should tell you everything. Last year, there were 3 teams that had better than 20-1 odds.
That's right.
To actually win the NBA championship. Right now, as it stands, you've got 7.
That's it.
So, but there's even more that have an opportunity. I mean, I didn't even bring up the Utah Jazz, who got Mike Conley and who
Jazz and the Nuggets.
Yeah,
Jazz
and the Nuggets
are my 2 favorite bets right now because I think both of them are 15-1. I'll take 15-1 with those 2 cats. Now that was maybe after. It was after the Kawhi thing is when I seen that, but it definitely wasn't after yesterday.
Let's see. I'm actually pulling up betnow.eu right now, which, by the way, the show brought to you by betnow.eu. Absolutely. We got some love. Betnow.eu brings you the show every day. Go check it out for yourself. Online sportsbook is fantastic. They got great odds. The layout is easy and awesome. And it's perfect for recreational gamblers, right? You just want to put some money down on whatever. Like, it is super easy. So, let's see. They've got their summer league stuff up right now, so they don't have the odds.
Not a lot of places are going to have future bets on the NBA yet because the season, like the schedule's not out yet. I mean, it's just hard to get it that early.
Let's see. I bet OddsShark has something.
But I've seen both of those teams. And I'll take those odds all day long. I really like this storyline of the Grizzly big guys leave and then get a championship. So I'm hoping we got some magic with Conley. I'd love to see him get a ring. So
here we go. All right, so All right, so we're looking at who has got the best odds. Like Boston is plus 2,000.
Yeah,
the Nets plus 2,000.
They're good, but I don't think they can win.
Denver plus 1,600.
I like that.
Golden State plus 1,400. Houston plus 1,400. The Clippers plus 300. The Lakers plus 400.
Those are the 2 big favorites.
Milwaukee plus 500. The 76ers plus 800. Let's see, Toronto plus 2,000. Utah plus 1,600.
That's what I like. It was Utah and in Denver at both. Plus
1,600.
I thought it was 15, but yeah, 16's better.
Yeah,
I like
that.
There's
a lot.
I like both those teams, and man, yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think you are probably right. So,
but I'm gonna vote with my eyes, and I'm gonna vote with my dollars, and I'm gonna spend money on the NBA, and I want them to see we as customers, you make your league like this, and you get more fans.
Yeah.
And you get more followers and your viewership goes up. I really, really, really hope the ratings next year are better than the ratings were the last couple of years.
Oh, I would have to imagine that they will be much better this season.
History says it's not, okay? I don't know why. And I'd love to credit whoever I was listening to, but it was on a podcast, one of the sports podcasts for The Ringer, and they were talking about how historically that's just not how it goes. When you have the dominant teams, but what it is all the numbers are skewed. When those dominant teams are on TV, the ratings are so high that it carries for all the weeks that they're so low when those teams aren't playing on TV.
Yeah.
And so you'll have one big game where a gajillion people watch, and then all the rest of them. But when you look at the year-round numbers, that one number spiked so big it carried everyone, and they're on once a week.
Well,
so
it's like with Wimbledon, right? So I don't ever watch tennis.
Nope.
But
I watched Serena.
Yeah, well, I watched Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. Right, okay. I just got done watching that before this thing came on. Before we did this
weekend, when the 15-year-old Coco girl was going off, all of a sudden everybody Twitter's on fire, and you're like, "Let me get on this thing real quick." Exactly. Now, when she's not playing, I'm doing family stuff.
Exactly. That's the way it goes. So like, I don't watch tennis, but Nadal and Federer.
Stars.
Yeah, I'll watch stars. I'll tune in. I don't know a ton about it, but I will check it out. All right, so back to Westbrook and CP3. Who won the trade? Do we think Houston won the trade?
No, I don't think anybody won the trade. I think this is one of those where I'm kind of excited to see the chaos.
Gotcha.
I don't know that anybody's winner or loser.
I think Houston won the trade. I think CP3
Sam Presti won the trade because Sam Presti.
Yeah.
If worst case scenario he's stuck with Paul, he's got a bad contract for a year less than he had a bad contract for.
That's a very good point.
So at the end of the day, he realistically saved $41 million somewhere, or 44, or whatever that supermax number is, that very last year.
Well, and they can start building towards something else, right?
Dude's got like 9 first-round picks in the next 3 drafts.
Well, and so at this point, what does this mean for Billy Donovan? Like, do we think he's done after this next season?
See, maybe even before? If I was Billy Donovan, and Billy Donovan likes to develop talent, he's a college coach that's gone to the NBA and done well. If I'm Billy Donovan,
has he done well?
I think he's done well.
I thought he was okay, but he hasn't won a playoff series.
Coach when Westbrook is your best player. Really hard to grade your coach when Westbrook's your best player.
Well, but you also had PG-13 last year, so
Yeah, but he was with Westbrook.
Or for 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, and he was an MVP candidate with the cancer, with a guy that won't let anybody else be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be – KD was really good with Westbrook until CP3 came along. Not CP3.
Until Paul George.
Paul George, sorry. Came along. Nobody else has been able to be good with Westbrook. He just sucks the life out of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know that you can judge how good of a coach he's been.
I mean, we'll see what he does this season, but I'm curious if OKC would just rather completely wipe their hands of it and start over.
Well, yeah, if they can trade Paul, yeah.
So, well, I wouldn't even with Paul still being there, I think the way that everything sounds coming out of there, they may want to just move off of Billy Donovan, which would make him the biggest.
I think that's ridiculous. In the NBA right now, their coaching, I do not think in the NBA is very good at all.
Oh, okay? I agree.
I think Billy Donovan is above average coach, and we really have no idea what he can do because his entire life in the NBA has been surrounded by this one guy that plays one style of basketball and nothing else. So let's see what you can do. Look, I'd rather kick the tires with him and keep him around and rebuild with some young talent than to take a chance on the next guy.
No, you're 100% right.
So far, the NBA has been less than impressive. I mean, we just had a guy win the championship who was an interim coach.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy had never been a head coach before in his life in the NBA.
But that's because it is a player-driven league. Coaches are brought in. Phil Jackson's big thing was not so much necessarily X's and O's. It was managing egos, right? It was figuring out how to maximize talent while keeping everybody happy. Like it was like that with Shaq and Kobe. It was like that with Michael Jordan and that bunch.
Hang on. I don't know that he did that though. Shaq and Kobe hated each other, and as soon as Shaq's contract was up, Shaq left. He didn't manage that ego. He made them get along while they had to get along.
He managed that ego enough to win 3 championships.
Because he had Shaq and Kobe. There's a part of me, now I might be way off on an island all by myself, and that's fine if I am, but I think Phil a little overrated. If all he was supposed to do, now I know he's got a crap load of to championships, but look at the talent he's got. And you say he managed egos. Did he manage Jordan's ego? Because Jordan beat the hell out of the other teammates. Did he really manage that ego?
I think he managed it better than a lot of other coaches because there were other coaches that coached these guys that weren't able to win championships with them.
No, that's not true. Nobody else coached Jordan and Pippen and all these other guys.
No, that's absolutely true. Who was it? Doug Collins?
Doug Collins was there before Phil. But
Yeah.
at some point in time, LeBron never won a title, and then he did, and then he became the best player in the world. Jordan was not the best player in the world at that time, and he couldn't get through the bad boy Pistons, and he couldn't get through Lakers Magics, and he couldn't get through the Magic Lakers. He couldn't get through the Celtics. And then all of a sudden, those dynasties kind of dissembled, and Phil came into play, and then it all just kind of worked out with timing.
Let's see.
You think Phil could have helped him get past the Lakers? You think Phil could have helped him get past the bad boys Pistons and the Celtics? Because
I mean, he did get him past the Pistons.
Yeah, but that team was at the end of their road.
Yeah, but I mean that was a short road. You know, like I think that Phil Jackson is awesome at getting players focused, right? So how in the world did we get on Phil Jackson? What were we talking about to get to this point? Look, either way, we're running short on time. We gotta get rolling. So I think Westbrook could work in Houston. CP3, we don't know how long he's going to stick around in OKC. We believe Miami is probably where he will end up if they do deal him, right?
Yep.
All right. Mike Vrabel, topic number 2. The Titans coach, Mike Vrabel, said that he would cut off his penis for a Super Bowl win as a head coach. Now, this is a guy that already got 3 of them as a player.
That's right. Not like he's never won one.
Yeah, it's not like he's never won one. He did say he's been married for 20 years, so he doesn't really use it much anyway. Is that a reasonable sacrifice? Is this a guy that really wants it, you think?
First things first is never pick a fight with Mike Vrabel, because this homie's crazy.
Oh, 100%.
Look, I don't know what married life is going to be like at 20 years, but I've been married for 11, and I ain't willing to cut mine off yet. All right, okay. And I'm gonna let you know, there's been times where she's not around, and it's still okay. Like I can, I just don't. I'm not there yet. Okay. Now I do say this, all right, and I make this abundantly clear, and I've said this a lot. One of the reasons that I'm never going to find real greatness like these guys at that type of level is because I believe that real, true greatness does take great sacrifice, and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. Mike Vrabel says he's willing to make a sacrifice I'm not willing to make.
Yeah, I think I would agree. You're telling me that you wouldn't do that for maybe a Cleveland Browns Super Bowl?
Nope.
Now, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you're a Patriots fan and a Browns fan.
But even if I wasn't, you're talking about the holiest of the holies here. Now you tell me I want to lose my right pinky or middle finger, then maybe we're having a different conversation. I would have given up a lot. 2003. When Aaron Boone hit the home run,
okay,
in the ALCS to keep the Red Sox out of it, I would have given up a lot to see a Red Sox championship. I would have given up a lot. I don't know that I would ever cut off the
goods.
My dengue. Yeah, this is not happening. It's just not happening. Like I can't foresee anything that I'd be willing to do that for.
I can't imagine. So
sports related, at least.
Yeah, with sports, I am a humongous fan, but I don't know that I'd be willing to sacrifice even a finger or whatever for that. And it might just be because I have gotten to experience it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy has experienced 3 of them as a player. Right. And he would do this as a coach.
He's crazy.
He's definitely nuts. These guys are all nuts.
Let's not mess with this guy.
Let's not mess with Mike Vrabel. All right, topic number 3.
I would like to see him win.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd love to see that. It'd be good for the state, right? I mean, we're in Memphis.
That's right.
Topic 3. Grayson Allen ejected from the Grizzlies Summer League game last night against the Celtics. Look, 3 just cheap shots in a row, and when you look at it and you're just reading about it, you're thinking, okay, he's playing tough.
Yeah, he's playing hard, whatever. No, you watch it.
Yeah, but when you were watching it in real time, it's man, these are cheap shots. This is not like being tough. This is
not grit and grind. We're all about grit and grind. We've had dudes thrown out. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
and we all get behind them as a city. We pass the plate. We pay your fines, and we love you. This is not that.
This is a lot different. This is a lot different. I was not happy about this. I was kind of excited when Grayson was coming to the Grizzlies from the
part
Jazz.
of that trade. Me too.
And I was like, okay, we'll see what we got here. Like, I know he can shoot. I know he plays defense. He maybe does.
We need both of those things.
Yeah, I know that, and he's young, so he'll fit into this core if he can build and develop here. Maybe we can come up with something. Man, you have many more nights like last night, and it'll just be time to cut bait. I mean, he's still on a rookie deal. There's no reason to keep him around when you want your players to be better than that.
I was disappointed when I saw it. My first thought when I heard about it was, all right, he's playing tough, okay? I mean, my guy Tony Allen, my favorite Grizzly of all time, he's been thrown out of a couple games. Zebo, he's been thrown out of a couple games. I get it. I'm okay. We had Mark and Mike, who were just the most gentlemen of gentlemen. Yeah. And we had Tony and Zebo, and you kind of need both of them.
You need the Bulldogs.
You need somebody to be that bulldog. This was not a dude being a bulldog.
Nope.
This is a dude being a pest.
Yeah.
And he was this way at Duke, which is why everybody hated him. But he was the really good white player at Duke, but he was also a really big asshole. And so he didn't do himself any favors. Now you're in the league and you're kind of a decent player, but you're not a good player. And so you bring value to a team, but you can't act like this. You just can't act like that.
I hope that he gets his act together and he sticks around at least for the year. Have you seen his girlfriend?
No.
Her name's Morgan Reed. She's a soccer player.
That's why you want him to stick around.
That's 100% why I want him to stick around. And this girl is unreal, man. Morgan Reed.
Listen.
I'm telling you, go check her out. She's a soccer player.
Parsons brought all kind of fine women from Memphis. You know what? I'd have thrown his ass off the top of the pyramid.
Well, that's because he was holding the salary cap back.
He held us hostage.
He was holding us hostage. It was a completely different situation.
I hurled him off the top of the pyramid.
Grayson's making what? He was the 21st pick in last year's draft, so he's making what, $1 million?
Gary, we live in the South. We got the most beautiful women in the world.
I understand that. I can't. You telling me I can't want more of them?
Nah, that's fine.
I mean, come on. Now my wife will be at the games, so that's good. But let's toss in some more. Make the atmosphere a little more visually appealing. And I'm all in for that. She's a soccer player for the Orlando Women's Professional Soccer League.
Okay.
So yeah, she's professional athlete, all that. But check her out. Morgan Reed is her name. Let's move on from that. The NFL has proposed an 18-game season to the NFLPA, and there is a new wrinkle. So Andrew Beaton, who we've had on the show from the Wall Street Journal, he has said that the NFL is offering a 16 games per player limit. Now, the Wall Street Journal says this would generate an additional $2.5 billion in yearly revenue, with over $500 million going to the players, and it would be another $15 million yearly to the salary cap. How do you feel about this?
I like it because more NFL just makes me happier.
Yeah.
I love every bit of it. They have to $15 million a year for the salary cap doesn't seem like enough, because I think they're going to have at least per team 20 more roster spots. I might be wrong on that, but if you can only play 16 games, I think you need 2 or 3 backups, not at every position, but at every line of the position. So that means defensive line, linebackers, DBs. That means offensive linemen, skill players, quarterback. You need at least 2 backups at all of those levels.
Now, would you keep this same 16 games per player limit on quarterbacks, kickers, and punters?
Yep. Or you can't have that rule, because what do you do where a guy can play receiver and be your quarterback? What do you do with like it just has to, at some point in time, we're just going to find some linebacker that can kick field goals. That's just what they're going to do. And therefore, he's playing. You say kickers can be anything. Well, we're going to give him the number one, and we're going to let him kick field goals for us. But he's also going to play strong safety. It's just not going to work. Coaches will manipulate the rules. If it's going to be 16 games, it's going to be 16 games across the board. What I wish they would do, because all games are not equal.
You brought this up earlier. Yeah.
I wish they would do it by quarters. And one snap in any second of a game, you go in to kneel the ball down, then you've played that quarter, okay?
Okay, but so it would be 8 quarters throughout the season that you could not play.
That's right. You have to sit out 8 quarters throughout the season. So therefore, if you're playing a team and you're up real big going into halftime, you might sit star quarterback the third quarter and see, can the backup hold the lead? Oh, he didn't hold the lead. Get back in there, mix it up, try to get the lead back, whatever. But now you've got a little bit different strategy. Coaches have to make a lot more decisions, but you have to make these rosters bigger. And they got to be bigger than 15 more people if you're going to add 2 games and say everybody has to sit out basically 2 games. You can't staff 2 games of people with 15 extra dudes.
Yeah,
you just can't do it. The rosters have to be bigger, and $15 million isn't going to cover 20 new players. It's just not. Not that everybody's going to be a multi-million-dollar player, but it just 15 million won't. There's that much money involved. You got to be able to come up with more money for the players and bigger roster spots.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Because I love more NFL. I want more football. I want more Monday nights with nothing else to do but to sit at home and watch Monday Night Football.
Well, I find it funny that, we're talking about how we need to shorten the season for Major League Baseball. We need to shorten the NBA season. And now with football, it's, hey, we can make a lot more money if we extend this thing.
But the difference is one season is 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Not just games or 17. It's only 17 weeks long. Excuse me.
Well, and then playoff games.
Before you get to the playoffs, you're only 17 weeks. And the regular season in baseball and basketball are obscene. They're just obscene.
Well, now it's starting at the end of March.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's at the end of March. It runs all the way through October for the playoff season. And then for basketball, it's November through, June?
That's right.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous. It's obscene. But we're having to do 2 different conversations. Say these 2 sports need to lose games, and this sport is going to add games. Well, yeah, it's because they're a million miles apart.
Yeah.
They can both go in the opposite direction and be good for both leagues.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, let's wrap up today's show. I'm going to talk about 2 people in Oklahoma, and I don't know if you've seen this story.
I have, and I would like to be invited to this party.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so 2 people were arrested in Guthrie, Oklahoma after a traffic stop of a stolen car revealed the 2 had a rattlesnake, radioactive uranium, a gun, and an open bottle of Kentucky Deluxe. Right. Stephen Jennings is charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, transporting an open container of liquor, operating a vehicle with a suspended license, and failure to carry security verification form. Rachel Rivera is charged with possession of a firearm after a former felony conviction. So here's the traffic stop was made at 11 a.m. in a Guthrie neighborhood.
Woo,
this is not.
This ain't even noon.
Yeah, this ain't riding around in the back roads, right?
No, you're talking about beer 30, man. It's not even lunchtime yet.
It's 11 a.m. in a neighborhood.
Get a peanut butter and jelly before we start cracking open the shine.
And they got stopped.
And the rattlesnakes and the uranium?
The tag was expired. That's why they got pulled over.
These aren't master.
No.
These are not master crimes, okay?
It says the guy, Jennings, was in the driver's seat, Rivera in the passenger seat, and in the back seat, a pet timber rattlesnake in a terrarium. So it wasn't just like hanging out in the back seat. It was in a cage or in a.
I want to know
whatever.
Was the uranium anywhere near the rattlesnake, and are we trying to make like a super rattlesnake?
See, now they didn't say anything about that. It said let's see, about the same time, Jennings told officers he had a gun in the console. Police learned the Ford they were driving was reported stolen. So now, this is what Guthrie Police Sergeant Anthony Gibbs said. He said, so now he's got a rattlesnake, a stolen vehicle, firearm, and somebody under arrest. Police also found an open bottle of Kentucky Deluxe, which, holy Lord. I mean, that's yeah.
A little driving whiskey, I get it. I've been Well, I know somebody who's been there.
That may be a little stronger than driving whiskey. So, to top it all off, a search of the vehicle revealed a canister of radioactive powdered uranium.
Man.
And so he said, when that happens, of course, we call in a company that deals with that specifically, and it's taken safely into possession. The uranium is the wild card in that situation. The uranium has not resulted in charges. They're still trying to figure out exactly what the suspects were going to use it for. There are no charges for the rattlesnake either. It happens to be rattlesnake season at the time, so he can be in possession of this rattlesnake because he has a valid lifetime hunting and fishing license. What are we even talking about here?
So, now I love pets. I'm an animal lover.
I don't love rattlesnakes.
There's one animal I don't like, and with all of the police getting bad publicity, it could have got some good publicity from Chris had he taken that rattlesnake out and shot him.
I'll tell you a story real quick.
I'd have been real happy with a law enforcement officer unleashing some lead
into a rattlesnake. Yes.
That's just my guy's opinion right here.
Here's the deal. Let me tell you about this story. The first time that I ever met my wife's father. So I went to their house south of Birmingham, about an hour south. It's back in the woods, whatever. First time we'd ever met. He says, why don't you hop in the truck? We're going to go down to the grocery store. I said, all right, no big deal. He takes me on this back road that's like a shortcut to the grocery store. And we said maybe 2 sentences to each other.
Because you need a shortcut to the grocery store.
Exactly. Right? So, and it's a gravel, like dirt road, and I don't even know what's happening, and he slams on the brakes, jumps out, and I turn back around, and he has pulled a pistol out of his pocket, and he is he drops like 5 rounds into a snake that is on the ground. And then he hops back in the vehicle like nothing happened, and we just go into the grocery store, and I swear to you, I've never been more terrified of anything in my life.
He's just letting you know, I'm a killer.
That's exactly what it was. But he let me know that
cold-blooded killer.
He thought it was a rattlesnake, and he hates rattlesnakes. And, yeah, he sure enough jumped out of the vehicle and ran over and poured 5 rounds into that thing. And I thought...
Look, I know there are people around. My brother's one of these people, big wildlife guy. No, there are good snakes or bad snakes. You really need to keep the good snakes around.
No, there's all bad snakes.
I'm sure he's right, and I'm wrong. But I don't know the difference between them. I don't want to know the difference between them. I just want them to all stay away from my world. And if you come into my world, I'm probably going to hire somebody because I'm not brave enough to handle it. But somebody's going to handle it.
What is the craziest thing you've ever been in the car with?
I don't know. I need some thought to go into that.
See, I'm trying to think like, I've been in the car with guns and open liquor bottles.
We're from the South.
Yeah, we're from the South. Like, of course that happens.
That's part of growing up in Mississippi.
I can't imagine riding around with a canister of radioactive uranium.
No, I don't know anybody smart enough to have that or dumb enough to have that. See, I'm right in that wheelhouse of nobody's dumb enough to have it in the vehicle, and nobody's smart enough to have it in the vehicle.
Exactly. So, I think that's the same thing here. That's the same thing with me. So I don't know. That was quite the wild story to read. All right, so I'm running out of time. We got to get out of here. Of course, go over to winningcureseverything.com. Go over to YouTube, subscribe on there. Just search Winning Cures Everything. It'll pop up, or just go to the website. It's easier that way. Go over to betnow.eu. Chris, we'll have shows all next week, and then when I get back from where I'm going, we'll jump back into this thing and be ready for more football talk.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Have a good one.
Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and tweet at us.